All I could remember was 15 years. 15 years. That's what they wanted to give me. 15 years. I didn't know how I had gotten there. I didn't know who I was. I was confused. I was scared. I was embarrassed. I was very lonely. I felt crazy. I felt like the world was looking at me like I was a psycho. And it's so funny to think that the whole world knows who you are, but my world had changed. And I didn't know what was about to come next. I knew I had to drop out. And I felt like a failure. My friends were graduating. And I was fighting a case. That situation shaped my whole 20s. And as I look back at it, 8 years ago, you couldn't tell me that I would be where I am right now. You wouldn't be able to even give me a piece of hope that, hey, Taya, keep going, girl. You know, when you get past this, you're going to be able to move to Atlanta. You're going to be able to start a business. You're going to be able to employ the same type of people that you are. You're not a bad person. Trauma. That's the word. I was traumatized. And I had to heal. And when we don't heal ourselves, we stay stuck.
First of all, I did not meet Taya. I met a woman named Carmen V. That's who I was told, you know what I'm saying, what her name was. And I thought that was her name. I thought it was one hell of a name, in my opinion. My friend Pina, he introduced her to me and basically introduced her as somebody who might have thought I was cute and funny. And he thought that I might have thought that she was cute and funny. So he just wanted me to really get to know her. And really, that conversation kind of died out with him in the first couple of days. He instantly had developed a friendship with her. And it was somebody that he was letting be known that he wanted, you know, her to be hanging around more. So I was definitely cool with it.
I actually met Taya at Morgan State University. Whoop, whoop, go Bears. On the Morgan S dance team. So we were both on the Morgan S dance team, I want to say around 2009 or 10-ish. However, Taya was on the team for about 2 months, so she didn't even count.
I met Taya 2019. We had some mutual friends. I went into the canteen. She was sitting with them. She was just cool. It was cool energy. I could crack jokes. She laughed. Her little she laughed. But that's not really when I really started hanging out with her. I started hanging out with her because about a month later, one of my friends had a birthday party, and it must have been God because I don't even go to parties. So I went to this party, and Taya happened to be at the party, and I was like, hey, you know, what you doing here? And she was like, oh, I live here. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was leaving out, and I was like, well, where you going? You not staying for the party? And she was like, oh, nah, I'm gonna go get me some natural herbs. And I was like, you know, I like natural herbs too. So we left, and we've been riding ever since.
Me and Tia both went to Morgan State together. She was a Morganette, and you know, I was just hanging around. And I want to say, I always seen Taya around just around the campus, around 104 in Morganview. But when I really start being cool with Tia is when we first start taking Miss Alexander's class. I want to say 301. By the way, we both failed that class that semester too. But it started with, it was just a regular Wednesday, bright and sunny, which means, I thought classes were canceled. But, we apparently had a test. So I get a text message from a random number saying, hey, this is Taya. We got a test today. Come to class. So I'm like, oh snap. So I'm turning around and I'm headed to class. And next thing I know, I hear three dings, like three text messages. The next thing you know, answers to the test pop up on the phone. And ever since, I never left Taya's side.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Holden, and I met Taya, I believe it was in 2014, maybe 2015. I've been knowing her for a while. How did I meet Taya? Taya was involved in a women's group, and she was seeing a counselor, and she told that counselor that she needed to see someone else, someone that she could identify with, meaning a brown-skinned woman, a woman of color. And so her counselor referred her to me, and I became her therapist.
It depends if the police is in this room watching this. If not, no, I was not. I did not know her. She did not call me after these situations. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, these cases better be closed. Anyway, I was around her, really as a friend, as a confidant, somebody she could talk to. We were going through similar situations, similar reactions at the time. So we could definitely relate. As far as the demeanor, I'm going to keep it honest. I mean, we were just as transparent as possible, and that, to me, transparency doesn't just hold one emotion. There's a little bit of laughter, and nothing was funny about it, but just, some comfort, just, of course, being upset, stress, anger. But I think a big part of our connection was being able to talk about some of the worst things that we were going through, and being able to eventually find some light in what was going on and talk about how we could move forward.
I was around, but I wasn't as close with her as I am now. We didn't live together at the time. She lived in Dutch Village Apartments, which was close to the school. And I hadn't heard about the occurrence with her mother at the time it happened. I learned about it years later. And so I would say, like, her demeanor at the time, it just seemed that there was a lot of anger and aggression, just a different side of her that I hadn't seen before. And not understanding it at the time, I had no idea what was happening. And so her acting out the way that she was during those years or those months or however long, I didn't really know where the anger and the aggression and the emotions was steering from until after the fact I found out of what happened.
I believe I was. And I mean, Tia's had the same demeanor since I met her, a little crazy, but for the most part, just always just 100% genuine. Once she puts her mind towards something, she usually gets it done, and she usually gets it done by any means necessary. So, if I had to sum it up in one word, crazily genuine. Let's go with that.
I was around throughout the events that took place in the book. I'm in the book. You got to read the book. Taya, throughout that time, she was just strong. Her demeanor, everything about her. She knew that, like, life didn't end there. And she knew that she had to change to make success, because some opportunities were then shut down in front of her, but she kept going. She took that time period of her life to learn a lot about herself, because sometimes you can't move forward until you've, dealt with certain battles and issues that you have in your life, and she did exactly that. So
I wasn't around during some of the events that Taya talks about in her book. I'm sure I was around. I was her therapist. And so one of the things that I remember about her demeanor, really a lot of things, but Taya, she was really guarded. You know, initially when I met her, she was guarded. She always looked well. You know, she dressed well. She was really spunky and I say spicy. She carried her outer appearance was really on point. But inwardly, she was broken. She was broken, she was wounded, a lot of depression and anxiety.
I'm not gonna lie, like I felt like, well, in a good way, I felt like did it affect, not necessarily affect her, but it didn't stop her grind, money wise. I mean, to me, as far as like that, she always, you know, did what she could as far as keeping a vehicle, you know, keeping a place for herself. You know, she wasn't going around asking a bunch of niggas for money or anything like that. She was really, really taking care of herself and the people around her. So I really feel like there was some mental struggles there. That was, I feel like, was her main struggles that she was going through. And as a friend at the time, all I could do is really just talk to her and relate to her where I could and just suggest whatever help, you feel me, that she needed.
This is where I started to learn about the occurrence and learn more about her background and what really transpired and why she acts the way that she does. I will first say that I think one of the things that truly impacted our relationship was the fact that she was going through so much and I didn't understand it at the time. Just living with a friend, I didn't feel that was the best approach given that I now know everything that was happening. Because we both took a lot of things personally. We had a falling out probably for about a year where we weren't friends anymore because of our living arrangements. And again, in that time frame, there was a lot of acting out, lashing out, arguing with people, you know, having fights with people, hearing how her and her mom would have arguments over the phone, and it was a lot of chaos. And again, coming from a place of not knowing, I didn't really know how to handle that or how to handle her as a friend in the moment. So I feel that the situation caused a lot of acting out, you know, acting out of character and crying and being upset, not having any patience. Taya really, really lacks patience. Even when it comes down to simple things of her having to repeat herself to someone. If she's talking to someone and they ask her to repeat herself, she gets upset at that. And so I felt like the smallest things or any amount of inconvenience really caused her to act out or lash out rather. And I do think that that all derived from the occurrences she faced with her mother.
one thing I can remember or I know about Taya is when it comes to struggle, the girl struggles well. Sometimes she be going through so much stuff and you will have no clue at all. I know I've gone over to his house before and you know, we sitting there laughing, having a good time, and I'm like, how was your day? And she'll say, girl, my car got towed yesterday. I broke my nail. The refrigerator is broken and Bailey ate my damn shoe this morning, but I don't want to talk about that right now. And I just think, well, damn. And, you know, we just continued laughing and having a good time. And whenever she's ready to talk about it, we'll talk about those things. But she struggles well.
Most of the times when I think about Taya's struggles, I mostly remember her resilience. I mean, since I've known Taya, I've seen her go through many ups and downs, you know, and it was a lot of downs, you know, but she's always been able to bounce back, and not just bounce back, you know, regularly, but she's able to bounce back tremendously and not only excel herself from where she once was, but propel herself to another spot to even lift her friends up. So, resilient.
You know, in the midst of her struggle, I would say the things that stood out most to me would be Taya's perseverance. You know, she would keep pushing, keep doing the things that she knows she needed to do for herself. And she had this determination. You know, not only did she want to be better, right? Um, she wanted others to be better too.
Everything. I can't lie. Everything. You know, graduating, you know, really being able to see, look back on everything and see what you did wrong, see what you could have did differently, and do your best to try to move forward. I think that you've been through so much that I think would have broken the normal person, you know, or it would have just, they would have completely just fell into, you know, feeling like they were nobody or feeling like their life was over. You know, I work in reform. So a lot of people, they get 1 or 2 charges. You know what I'm saying? One DUI is enough for a nigga. Not for Taya. But still, you get what I'm saying? I love the fact that she just never gave up. She never gave up. She always had, always wanted to get to her next goal in despite of whatever was in front of her.
And I'm most proud of where she is now. She's come a long, long way. Coming from, again, her situation with her mother and, you know, not having the best relationship and just trying to figure out life on her own as a college student. That's challenging. You know, she defeated the odds. She graduated. She graduated twice. She graduated with her master's. She took on the business route for her makeup business. She now has her transportation business in dedication of her grandmother, which I feel is awesome. She's running it. And I'm really proud that, Taya, that you took the leap to get up and move to another city to start your life. This is what we thought you were going to do when it was time for you to go to Pittsburgh, but obviously God had different plans for you. Pittsburgh wasn't it. And now we see that Georgia is. You're flourishing, sis. You know, you often identify yourself as the struggle child. That's what you would call yourself. But that's no longer you. You know, you had your situation, you had your back experience with your mother, your father, or lack thereof, relationship with your father. However, that is no longer you. And I don't want you to identify yourself as a struggle child anymore. You are a grown woman. You have your own car, your own place, and you have your own business and you're running it. And so you're doing a damn thing. And I'm so proud of you for that. And you're about to make me cry.
First, I just want to say I'm proud of you, Taya, for so many different things. And you know, this question says, what's one thing you're most proud of Taya about? And if you know Taya, y'all know she's a businesswoman. She has had a lot of businesses. They might not have had LLCs, but she's had a lot of businesses throughout the last few years. And she took all those natural entrepreneurship skills and she went and got her LLC and an official business. And not only did she make her business official, but she moved to a different state and she's making it happen. And for that, I'm proud of you. I love you.
Listen, I am really proud of Ted being able to go back in school and really finish out and get that master. To this day, Master Miles, let's give a toast to that. A toast to getting your masters through the struggles.
I'm really proud of her, and I would say one of the things that I'm most proud about as it relates to Taya, you know, she's resilient. In the midst of what she's been through, she was able to like turn her life around, pick up, relocate, go somewhere where nobody knew her name, no family. And she's turning her life around. She's doing things that she spoke about, that she desired to do. So her resilience and the way she's turned her life around, I would say, is what I'm most proud of.
Keep on doing it, baby. That's my advice. Keep on doing it. Keep on moving forward. You know, it's not cliche to be like, stay real, but just stay honest. You know, I feel like your life really took a next step to the next level when it was just like you started confronting the things that was going on with you, with your family, started taking responsibilities for, you know, jabbing a couple people. But I appreciate, that's my favorite thing about you. I feel like you take responsibility for everything that you've been through. You know, you feel remorse for what you go through. You feel pain, you feel anger, but you don't let that, you know, get you down. You do your best to try to make amends, you know, do what you gotta do. So my best advice is just keep doing that moving forward. I'm so glad you got a chance to move away, start a new business, and I'm just thankful that you got to this point. I was worried about you for a second. Niggas was worried about me. I was worried about her. So that's my video. You get what I'm saying? I love you, Taya. Thank you for asking me to do these questions. I hope I answered them as honest as I could.
This is something that we talk about a lot. And I know Taya calls me a lot when it comes to her approach when she wants to approach situations, which I feel is great within itself because you're aware. You're aware of your delivery and you're aware of how you can come off to people when you're trying to address situations. And you're wanting to approach situations better, and which is why you're asking for a second opinion prior to talking to the person. So I really, really love that. And I think that that's major growth for you, considering, you know, someone who is quick to pop off. Anything that's an inconvenience or anything that you don't like, pop off quick. But now you're taking a step back to say, hey, how do I want to approach this situation? What should my message be? What should my delivery be? And that's major for you. So my biggest piece of advice is to continue in that path, continue in the path of going to counseling as you was, connecting yourself with different people. I know that that's what you're doing. You're very social. You're a social butterfly. I saw, you know, how you've cut off people who no longer served you. Continue to do that. Year over year, season over season, people that can't go or shouldn't go with you, don't take them. And again, continue to be cognitive of how you want to be perceived as a person and how you want to move forward. That's my biggest piece of advice. I'm so, so proud of you. I'm so proud of this book. And I love you so much. I'm always going to be here in your corner. And I'm rooting for you 100%. You know, I'm one phone call away. I might not answer at the first ring, but text me and I'm going to call you back. But bye.
I give Taya. So like Taya, first I just want you to look around the room. I want you to look around the room and see how much you are loved. You are loved because you are you and you're unapologetically you, and you are a real one and great just the way you are. Sometimes, you know, I know as people, we look at ourselves and we see like the characteristics that we dislike about ourselves, and it's easy to forget about how great we are just as ourselves. And like, you are a real one. I mean, you are adaptable, you're ambitious, you're loyal, you're reliable. You're not gonna show up on time, but I can count on you, you know. You're supportive, you're generous as hell. Like, I don't know if y'all ever stop past Taya's house, but it could be a Wednesday and she gonna cook you a whole Thanksgiving dinner and tell you to take a plate on your way out. You know, we all have flaws, but just continue to be you, because I mean, your energy is on another level. You vibe on another level. It's a good time. You working hard, and this is just the beginning for you. And I'm proud of you, and I love you, friend. I love you, friend. I love you, friend.
As you continue your journey, the one main thing I want you to do is just remember to just always just stay yourself. Yourself has always been genuine. It's always attracted the right people. Has always put you in the right places. So just always continue to be you. No matter what you elevate, you just always hold that core. Stay lit. Love you. We out. You know what's in the cup.
Some advice that I would give to Taya, I would say, Taya, there are 3 T's that I think about when I think about you. And number 1 is transparency. You are very transparent. And I believe it took that for you to do this work that you've been about. And so remain transparent. With that transparency comes a freedom. And it also brings about transformation. That's my 2nd T. And so as you continue to transform your life, as you continue to be unapologetically, authentically you, oh yeah, my 3rd T, you will transition. You will be the woman that you desire to be, your higher self, and you're becoming that now. And so stay the course on this journey. The things that you do know, the things that you're familiar with, work them, girl. And the exploration on the journey, some things that you may not be familiar with, these are the things that are going to help you to grow. And so every piece of yourself, you need it. So be compassionate, extend that grace to yourself, and just do you.
If someone were to tell me 8 years ago that you're going to use the same story to help somebody else with their pain, I wouldn't believe them. I didn't have that much faith. But in hindsight, I did. I did have enough faith. Because sometimes all you need is the faith of a mustard seed. And your dreams and your goals will grow. But you can't stop. You can't stop. You got to keep going always. Because whatever battle is in front of you right now, you're going to be able to knock it down and go around it and continue to the finish line of whatever goal it is that you have for yourself. But if you stop, you never get to see what's on the other side of that battle, the other side of that wall. You never get to experience how good the finish line feels. That was me. A lot of times I was running and didn't know which direction I was going to, but I just knew I had to keep going. The DUIs, the therapy, all of the aftermath that came from this situation shaped me to who I am right now and who I am continuing to grow into. Pouring this story out of me, it was not easy. But I had to do it because I knew that I'm not the only one. I'm far from the only one. So I knew I had to share my story because it was others and other people who were sharing their story when I was trying to make it through this situation. And by them sharing their story, I felt like I had a community. I knew I wasn't alone. And I knew that I was going to get through it because I was determined. Whatever it is that you're trying to get through, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you will. You got to have the right people around you. You got to have the right support systems in place. You got to have the right habits. You got to have the right people who are going to root for you when you can't root for yourself, because life gets like that. Sometimes we can't pour into our own cup. So you got to have people that are able to pour into your cup. And if your circle don't consist of those types of people, let that circle go. Let them go. Because you get one life. No matter how much you might mess up, F up, screw up, You get another chance. Value those chances. And keep going.